New face of Gerber baby food is charming people around the world and also making headlines, not just for his little smile and rosy cheeks, but because he is the first Gerber baby to have Down syndrome. Jennifer Crowson is chair of the Down Syndrome Association of Hamilton. Jennifer, what was your reaction when you saw that a child with Down syndrome was the new Gerber baby?
Hi, good afternoon. My reaction, it was positive. I think this is a wonderful thing, and he is a beautiful and cute boy. But I paused because then a lot of the sort of media attention around this is just talking about the fact that he is a boy with Down syndrome. But, he is a boy first, and he happens to have Down syndrome, which, it's not, he's just a cute boy.
I guess that's an interesting balance, right? Because on the one hand, you want that to be acknowledged, you want that awareness to be out there, and yet you don't want it to be like some weird thing.
No, exactly. And I don't want it to be why he won as well. I think it's right and proper. And I congratulate his mom for putting him in the competition. And I congratulate Lucas and his family for winning the competition. But I guess I also want it to be clear that it's right and proper that people with Down syndrome, people with other disabilities, people with other diversities are reflected in our media, in our TV, in our society. And that's not always been the case. So I guess for me, that's the important thing about this.
When your son was born, when he was just a baby, you're a parent of a child with Down syndrome. What was that like when he was born? And what might that, seeing this 2018 Gerber baby have been like for you then?
So I think it would have been a really positive thing. I found out when I was pregnant that my son was going to be born with Down syndrome, and that was a bit of a dark time, if I'm being honest. And why it was a bit dark is because things I was hearing about Down syndrome were not positive things. And so it was difficult. So if I had been, pregnant now and seeing this conversation and hearing, another parent like me on the radio, I guess I would have felt really very good about that. And I hope that those parents who are out there, who are new to this community, are sort of seeing the positive in this. I guess now that I'm 5 years into it, and I've met a lot of people through my experience as being the chair of the Down Syndrome Association of Hamilton, is that we want to change the language that's used to describe people with Down syndrome. We want to, just make it so that they are part of our fabric of society. It's not like a child with Down syndrome is something that needs to sort of stand out only because of their Down syndrome, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and how often does your son see himself reflected in, in the TV shows he watches or in the books he reads?
Not often enough, I guess I would argue. He is 5. There was a show it was actually from the United Kingdom, and it was called Something Special, and that show did depict children with various disabilities, and Owen took to that show very, very quickly. Now, he was about 3 at that time, so was that because of what he was seeing, or was that because of the show? But I think that show had a great way of connecting with a boy like my son. We do see, like I gave the example earlier of we were actually in the Children's Hospital yesterday in Hamilton, and walking through the hallways, there's lots of lovely pictures of children. And Owen happened to point out 2 pictures of other children who had Down syndrome. So maybe he was making a connection with them. I don't know, but whatever it was, it made me smile because it allowed him, he was seeing diversity in his own community, as he should.
There's been a lot of positive attention to this little baby. Lucas Warren is his name, the little boy chosen as the 2018, Gerber baby, the face of that baby company.
Yeah.
Do you think this could lead to greater, inclusion of other children or adults anywhere with Down syndrome?
I hope so, and I hope it leads to greater conversation and greater understanding. Because some of my negative is too strong of a word, but some of my reaction to this has been some of the language used in the print material around this picture, describing him as having a condition, describing him as having abnormal cell formations, and that's not how I see my child. That's not how I see people with Down syndrome. And so, if this is an opportunity to change that conversation and show the ability of people with Down syndrome, his ability is cute. He's a 1-year-old boy, right? And as my son gets older and as Lucas gets older, I hope that his community sees what he is capable of.
It's really good to get your perspective on this today, Jennifer. Thank you so much.
So thank you. And thank you very much for having us on to talk about this. I really appreciate it.
Indeed. Jennifer Crowson is chair of the Down Syndrome Association of Hamilton. Time for a little music now from the